Scoring goals is an important element of the game, and attacking in different ways, and being fluid. In our case, the front three is also important to us. So I think scouting, maybe our front three becomes a little more of a problem, because we can change things up and we have different types of players to attack certain spaces and to use different methods to get in the opponent's box and to score goals. So I think that is certainly an advantage we believe we have and we'd like to use.
And as a follow-up, just the depth of the team as a whole. You guys have great depth in every spot on the field. I know you're relatively new to MLS and that you were in Germany during a whole lot of it, but I imagine you also followed MLS to some extent.
Of course.
Have you seen a team with as much depth as you guys possess in this league?
I'll defer to the experts on this, but I think if you go back and look at most teams who were successful in this league, I think you would find some similarities. I think also a lot of teams who are successful in this league have had seasons which they've been spared of injury problems, which is important. We have had some injuries, and because of our depth, we've been able to weather the storm, so to speak. But because the way the league is structured and the roster building, all the rules and regulations, injuries just play havoc. And so looking forward to next season, I think a lot of clubs, and the congested schedule and the added competition, a lot of clubs are going to have to think about roster building a little differently. And moving forward just globally, the players and clubs have a lot more games on the schedule, and the timing and the schedule is more congested. So staying healthy and having a balanced roster is going to become very important moving forward.
Steve, how are you guys physically coming out of the break, and the players coming from international duty? How are they?
Everybody has come back healthy and in good spirits and with confidence, which is always ideal. So we're only missing one player with Franco Escobar, who's still out. I guess it's still questionable, but right now it's the time being out. Other than that, everybody's on board.
And Franco's still dealing with the head issue?
Yes, he is.
Any other questions in person? Okay, we'll take questions from the Zooms. Go ahead, Charles. Go.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for your time. With the international break, I wonder if you had time to reflect on the down patch that your team hit in late August and September. Whether you attributed it, any sort of causes to that, and if you feel like you dealt with those issues at this phase in the season.
Yeah, I think we talked about it during that phase and came up with solutions and came out the good side. So those weeks are beyond us, and if you look at the past performances, especially against Houston at home, it was what we like to see and what we had seen throughout most of the season.
And one follow-up, is there anything that you want to see from your team in these final two matches? I know you have a trophy to go and win, but I'm sure you also have a view on the playoffs and winning that other trophy as well.
Yeah, any competition we enter, we'd like to win. So that's the mentality of this group and this organization, and we're up for the challenge. So first and foremost is Portland. What I would like to see is our players, mentally and physically, first of all, accepting the challenge and showing up, and then in the key moments, using our football to decide the game for us. But certainly you have to go into a place like Portland ready to fight first.
Last question from Benjamin Bergen.
Hi, Steve. You faced Portland twice already this season, but it was early in the year. What have you seen from them as the year progressed, and what do you expect to see from them on Sunday?
What we all see. I think they've done an excellent job of, creating a way of playing that is stable, suits the characteristics and attributes of the players they have, and they keep adding to that. And they've had consistency as well with their coach and with their players. And so it's one of the hardest teams in the league to beat, especially at home. And so that's what we're going up against. Tactically, they've played a little differently in the last 9 games. but it doesn't change their demeanor as a group and their direction as a club, and the way they win games. It's just a reorganization of spaces and bodies.
And if I could have one more, how much of an advantage or disadvantage is it for the team to know about the result after Philadelphia's match on Saturday? How do you plan on keeping the team focused strictly on Portland?
Talking about Portland. Look, everybody has a smartphone nowadays and can follow scores, and we are in the 33rd game of the season, for us at least. And the table is now an important part of this. So it is a part of it. We're not going to just ignore it. But none of it means anything if you don't get the job done in Portland. So that's where our focus is.
You guys one other one, and that's as the season's beginning, as you're stepping into this job and you're seeing what you've got and you're seeing what the team's about and you're starting to implement your philosophies. The expectations that you had at that point, has this team exceeded those? Is this a different team than maybe you thought you were going to have?
I think in some ways, yes, to your question, and in some ways, no. And I still think we have a lot of room to grow. But if you wanted a single answer, I would say it's been a very positive season for everybody here at LAFC so far, and we would love to finish it on a positive note.
What has exceeded expectations?
I think anytime you can stay atop of the table for as long as we did, I think that says something about the group. I think being able to give a lot of players a lot of minutes as well, but still remain in our game model and force our game model upon opponents 95% of the time throughout the season, that's positive.